Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Monday, January 17th, 2022. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. So make sure you focus on what is good. It does not benefit you to focus on the negative things. So focus on what is good. Can't go wrong. You only will just stir up more good when you focus on what is good, right? So focus on what is good. If you're out there traveling about, make sure you wear your mask and use your hand sanitizer. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, y'all, and people are still getting sick. So please keep yourself safe and keep your family members safe. If you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $ SB Favor. I thank you so much for your donations. Before I get into my inspirational quote, I would like to acknowledge that today is Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King was a great civil rights leader that broke many barriers in our society. He was a man of peace and nonviolence. So I just want to acknowledge our great civil rights leader today. So my inspirational quote is, by all means, rid what is toxic. Don't settle for less. Work on yourself to simply be your best. A lot of times people settle for less and they don't do the work to work on themselves. They are in toxic relationships, toxic family relationships, toxic romantic relationships, and they give it a pass. They say, well, that's normal. It's normal for a person to act like that. It's okay that they act like that. No, it's not. No, it's not. We need to rid all that is toxic. Because when you rid what is toxic, then you make room for what is good. When you rid what is toxic, you make room for what is blessed. So rid what is toxic. You don't have to settle for less. You don't have to deal with something that does not benefit you. So rid what is toxic. My inspirational quote came from a conversation I was having with a couple of people over the weekend. And I was just thinking about how sometimes we justify what is toxic. And I believe that when a person justifies what is toxic, I believe they do that because they don't know their own self-worth. They make excuses to stay connected to something that doesn't benefit them. And if a person doesn't know their self-worth, it means that they don't love themselves. I mean, that's just my opinion, but that's what I believe. I think that when we stop giving a pass to what is toxic and we make room for what is good, then we can experience more good. But it first begins with working on ourselves as individuals. If we don't do the work, then how can we see anything that's good? How can we accept the norms of society and accept toxic behavior and expect what is good? How can we? So rid what is toxic and recognize your self-worth. Project what is good. Focus on what is good. But like I said, rid what is toxic. When you rid what is toxic, you disconnect yourself from the thing that is not beneficial to you. So I hope that inspirational quote was something for you to think about, because I'm thinking about it. I mean, I'm not talking about walking around fault finding or anything like that and making up reasons to get rid of people out of your life. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about really recognizing when you have anything that is toxic in your life, you have the ability to make a decision to get rid of it. Oprah Winfrey said, when people show you who they are, believe them. She said, the first time they show you who they are, believe them. She said, if you don't believe them the first time they show you, she said, you will suffer later. So when people show you who they are, believe them. So why do we sometimes justify things? Hoping the person won't do something again, or hoping they'll speak to us in a better way, or hoping that things will get better, knowing that the person is toxic. We can't give a pass to it. If we want something better, we got to choose something better. If we want to experience something better, we got to make room for something better. When we rid what is toxic. So anyway, I could talk about that a little bit more, but I'm not going to right now. I will talk about that more in depth in another episode, because we got to do better. As individuals, we should desire the best for ourselves, and we should desire the best for others. And we can have the best life ever if we simply rid what is toxic. Stop making excuses and justifying why you accept what is toxic. You know, the Bible talks about love covers a multitude of sin. Yes, but we're not supposed to be abused. You know, a person that gaslights you, a person that emotionally abuses you, a person that speaks foul to you. Guess what? That's toxic. So just think about that. Everything I'm saying is just something for you to think about, because when we choose to have more healthy relationships, and when we love ourselves, and when we recognize our self-worth, we become an asset for somebody else. So I hope that my words is just something for you to think about, because that's what I'm thinking about. You know, my prayer always is that my family, my friends, my daughter, that we just examine ourselves to be better people. I believe that's something that God wants. I believe that He wants us to examine ourselves every single day. None of us should look at ourselves and say, oh, nothing's wrong with me, I don't have to work on nothing. None of us should think like that. We should all wake up in the morning with the desire to work on ourselves and examine ourselves through prayer and just looking at ourselves. I'm not talking about looking at yourself with condemnation and fault finding. I'm talking about honestly looking at yourself so that you can do the work to change. You know, we all have gifts and talents and abilities to help the next person. And when we do the work on ourselves, and when we do the work in our relationships through our gifts and talents, we have the ability to make somebody else's life even better. So I hope that, like I said, I hope that my words are making you think, because that is my purpose with this podcast, is to make you think, to inspire you to do something better, and to inspire you to do something different. So thank you so much for listening to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SBFavor. I also have a TikTok handle at SBFavor. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at SBFavor. Please click like, leave me some feedback, and click the bell so that you can receive a notification each time there is a new episode of SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. And make sure you share the podcast with others. You can do no wrong with that. Only good. So thank you so much for listening, and you have a good day.